Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly Oracle Wisdom. My name is Natalie Sadie, and we are going to have a look at what the cards have to say about the energies for the week ahead. So I hope that everybody has had a wonderful weekend and that their Monday has gotten their week off to a wonderful start. Okay, so normally I start with a deck that MahrukhX has created. I thought we would go for something a little bit different this week. I've been feeling this pull all week long, and we are going to start with the Wisdom of the Oracle, which is a Colette Reid deck. This one, I love this deck. And before we get into it, I did want to let you all know, in case you haven't seen it, I did do a monthly for the week of for the month of October. Can you believe we are in Halloween season? I mean, we're in LA. Everybody thinks the weather's always amazing, but it's actually starting to cool down. So you can see I've got the sweater on. It's lovely. I'm able to sleep at night comfortably. So this has become one of my favorite seasons, and I never thought I would be a person that enjoyed the cooler weather, and yet here we are. I'm just seeing if any other cards want to jump out to start. Okay, I will say it looks like it's a week where we're having to trust. We're having to trust the universe and the timing of everything. It's funny that I say that. Okay, so the first card that jumped out is Observer. So it's a moment where we need to stop and watch what is going on and pay attention to the things that are happening and really take our time to get all the information gathered and together so that we are able to make the right decisions when the time comes. The next card that's coming out is Come to the Edge. And I love this card because it's about taking a leap of faith. It's about trusting the universe, trusting in the divine timing of everything, and making the leap that you desperately want to, but could be incredibly scary. And taking those leaps of faith, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen when we do that. The reality is the universe will always catch you. At times it feels like you're free falling for a bit, but maybe that's what we have to do to get to where it is we're going. But if you don't jump, it means you're stuck in this one spot, and that's not where you want to be. So this is the week where you take that leap and trust that the universe will catch you and take you to where it is you need to go. But you have to be brave. This is, in the last few weeks and in the last monthly reading, I've talked a lot about free will and the choices that we have in this life. And we do have free will. We come here with a soul contract. We come here knowing that there are certain things that we need to do for our soul's growth. But with that being said, if we don't get through all the lessons, that's fine. We get to the other side. We figure it out. We figure out what we did learn and what we were able to achieve and the soul growth that occurred from that. And then the things that we weren't able to complete, we come back either in the next life, or maybe we take a break for a life or two, and then we come back to learn the lesson again. And we will repeat these lessons until we learn what it is we're meant to learn. So free will plays a very big part in the life that we're living. So if you're not ready to take that leap, that's ultimately your choice. You don't have to do anything that you're not ready for. But with that being said, the universe will always catch you. And this is a week where we are being asked to trust. Trust that things are going to work in your favor, and trust that things are going to work out. So the other card that's jumped out so far is Deep Knowing. And this is where the trust comes in. It's having that deeper knowing and understanding that we are going to be okay, that the universe is going to catch us, that we know it's going to be okay. And as you can see in this card, you've got a full moon, you've got And I mean, it's the full moon, I believe, tonight. And we have the owl there as well. And the owl is a symbol of wisdom and knowledge and knowing. So, and anybody else that has been watching me for any amount of time knows that owls have a special place for me. They symbolize my mother. At this point, they have become a symbol of the universe giving me confirmation of things. And in the last week, I've seen several owls just flying around when I've been walking. And we had one really close to home, this beautiful barn owl that flew in, and my neighbors and I all went and had a look at it because they all said, "That's not an owl." I went, "That's an owl." And we went and found it because the connection for me is so great that my gut just knows. And then the following night, I was walking up the hill on one of my daily walks, and it was nighttime by this stage. The sun had set, and I was talking to my sister, and I said, "I think there's an owl on the roof." She goes, "What?" And I said, "I don't know if it's a statue or if it's an actual owl." And I stood there and I said, "I think it's real. I walk up this hill all the time. I've never seen this owl before." And I said, "So if it's a statue, they've put it up in the last 24 hours. She goes, "It's probably not real." And I said, "Its head's moving side to side." She goes, "There are mechanical ones. I've seen one." And so I started hooting at it, and it started doing the head bob. I said, "This thing's real." She's like, "It's still not real." 5 minutes later, this thing flew off to another roof. It was very much real. So when the owls start appearing, that's when I know at a deeper level that I'm on target with what I'm saying. So just when you get to the precipice, when you get to the edge and you're contemplating whether to take this leap, go deep inside yourself, because your gut will tell you exactly what you're meant to do. The other thing is, make sure you're paying attention to everything before you get to that point. You have time before needing to take that leap and making that decision to gather the information, which will ultimately give you the indication as to whether, yes, you should jump, leap, take that sort of leap and go with it, or whether this is the moment to pause. So just pay attention to everything that's coming through. What's on the other side? A new life, this new chapter that will begin, where you feel amazing. Like, think about when you wake up on a beautiful morning and you're in bed and you do that stretch and you're excited to get the day going. This is what's on the other side of this leap that you're going to be asked to take. Okay, I'm going to pull a couple more. Thank you to everybody who's joining the live. Mrs. D, great to see you as always. Okay. Okay. So then we get the card why. We are questioning why this is happening. The reality is, you may not get the answers. Maybe you will. But you have to be prepared that this is the week where you're being asked to trust. You're searching for the answers. I see the wings on this book as the book could fly away at any moment, and you may not get the answers this week. The other thing is, with the wings there, maybe you will get them. I feel like you're not going to get the answers before you have to take the leap. This is very much, you're going to be able to observe and watch. But when this moment comes where you have to make the decision, where you have to make that leap, that's going to come from this. The answers as to why you needed to do it that way, or why everything played out the way that it did, that's going to come later, whether it's later this week or just later on. Everyone knows we don't get closure when we necessarily want it or demand it. We get closure when the universe decides that's exactly what we need. But ultimately, the milk and honey card, this is what we get. This is our reward. We get to have a beautiful drink. We get to enjoy the sweetness of life. So these two cards go hand in hand. You get the new life, and in that new life, you get the milk and honey with it. So there is this sweet, beautiful place on the other side of this leap, and you can see the rainbow there. You can see the oracle watching over what is happening on this little picnic table. You've got the tablecloth there. And there's a little elephant bathing in that bowl, just having a wonderful time. So whatever is going on this week, what you're being asked to do, take the time to listen, gather the information that you need, really pay attention. And when you get to that edge and you are being asked to take a chance and to leap, tap into that deeper knowing, because you know exactly what it is you're meant to do. You know what it is you want on the other side. So this is where you have to trust yourself, and that's going to lead to this great new chapter. I'm moving on. Now I'm using a MahrukhX deck. So we're moving on to the Guided Angels Oracle. What is a reading without a MahrukhX deck? So I'm still chatting to her about getting her onto Gemini Rising. So I hope we're able to do that soon, because I would love to learn her story and how she creates all these phenomenal decks with such incredible artwork. Okay. Okay. Okay, so the first card that came out is Conflicting Desires. When the choice is hard, follow your heart, and your desires will stop fighting against each other. So again, this is confirming that there will be a choice to be made when it's time to take that leap of faith. And this is where you have to go into that deep knowing and trust your gut, trust your intuition, trust where it's telling you you have to go. The next card out is Boundaries. When you don't protect or overprotect your boundaries, your needs go unmet. Review and renew your boundaries. So this is a week to redefine what your boundaries are, where they are. And look, maybe it's a matter of not necessarily that people are being disrespectful of your boundaries, but maybe it's time to redraw them and say, okay, thank you so much. You've been respectful, but I actually need something different at this moment. And this is what I need. And that's okay. So make sure you are paying attention to what you need, what you desire, and how you need that to be respected in order for you to continue on. Okay. And then we've got good news. The wait is nearly over. Expect to receive news to an important issue that will have a positive outcome. So this choice that you're making is leading to something which is good news. I go back to the new life and the milk and honey card. I love when the cards confirm the reading and the messages that are coming through. I actually feel like I want to pull a couple more of these before we move on to the final deck. Okay. Okay. No rush. Put your heart into it, but don't rush. There are valuable lessons along the way that will prepare you for the future. So, like I said, take time, observe what's going on, pay attention to the information that's coming your way. I feel like there's going to be information that you need before you make that decision as to what direction you're moving in. So make sure you take the time to listen. Don't just go, well, I know I need to leap and it's all going to be amazing. You do need to pay attention to what's going on around you and take all of that in so that okay, so the vision that I'm getting is if somebody is jumping off a cliff into the ocean, for example, and there are some great spots in the world where you can do it really safely. And we know because other people have done it before us that you can jump there, it's deep enough, there's no rocks or anything like that. But in certain places where people choose to do it, you have to look at where the waves are coming in, what's going on in the ocean that day. You have to pay attention to where there are rock formations and find that perfect place to jump. So I feel like this is what we're doing. We're sitting there and we're taking stock of what is going on around us, what information we need so that we can leap and we can leap safely and so that we have the best possible outcome. But there is information you need to gather first. And then the final one from the Guided Angels Oracle is new opportunities. Better things are opening up for you. Leave the comfort zone behind and open your world to new possibilities with an open mind. So what's coming on the other side is going to be for your betterment, and it is going to open up new places, spaces, opportunities, all of that. But again, you're going to have to take the leap. But make sure you do gather that information. So then we're going to finish up. And if you watch the monthly, you'll see that I used this deck for that. I'm getting into the Halloween spirit. I've got some other magic, witchy, Halloweenish decks, but I thought we're still a few weeks away. So I'm not going to pull those out yet. They'll be pulled out next week. But we're going to finish up with 2 cards from the Magical Spirit Oracle. Okay. I chuckled when this first one came out because of the analogy that I just used. So this card is Goddess of the Sea, abundance, purification, and ego. It's time to come home. So I think one, I just love that the cards listen and then the appropriate cards jump out. To me, that it's time to come home is, you know, when we're going in and we're paying attention to what it is our soul needs and we honor that, I feel like that is coming home. And to do that, it allows for abundance to come into our lives because we're living true to who we are and our soul's needs and requirements and everything that they need. And there's a purification in that. The other thing is when we're living true to who we are and our soul's needs, it puts our ego in check. We're not living in our ego and letting our ego dictate where it is we're going and what it is we're doing. So like I said, I love that the analogy that I used was about jumping off a cliff into the ocean and Goddess of the Sea popped up. So then the final card that we're going to finish with is acceptance, letting go, water, non-resistant. You can let go now, surrender to what is. Again, this is that moment of trusting the universe when we take that leap. And you can see, are they fairies? I feel like they're little fairies or somebody that have her hair, or maybe they're bumblebees. I can't actually see. I probably need my glasses on. But she's protected by the universe. We're going to go with fairies, and you've got all the you've got the rainbow and the sparkles and the stars and the flowers and everything around her. She's living in a state of bliss, surrounded by everything that means something. And I think it's that moment of surrender, and just sitting in that space and knowing that the universe has you, it's going to cradle you, it's going to protect you, and it's going to take you exactly where you need to be. And this really is a big week of trust for all of us. You know, we have the full moon tonight. There is so much energy swirling around, and it can be a lot for people at times, but I feel like this is a great week. It's just a week of connection, of trust, and of letting go. So I hope this reading resonates with some of you, if not all of you. As I said at the beginning of this reading, I did on the 1st of October put out the monthly reading for October. It is Pick a Pile. So if you go and have a watch, let me know which pile or piles you picked and if those readings resonated. I always love hearing all of that. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you subscribe, like, comment, all of that. I don't advertise this channel at all because I believe the readings end up with who the messages are for. So thank you so much for your support, and I will see everybody who's a part of High Vibe on Thursday when I'm in the studio with David doing Full Disclosure. It's already turning into another huge week, so that's going to be a massive show, and I will be back next Monday for the next weekly Oracle Wisdom. Have a wonderful week, everyone.